It's setting up our YouTube live. Okay. Oh, Ray's in here. Mute. Okay. Oh my God, it's Alex and Michael are the only two in the waiting room yet. That's funny.
That would be fun if it was just them.
We were just talking about you guys. There will be more.
That's all right.
They're our most loyal. Hi, Michael. Hi, Alex. We were just talking about how you guys are so consistent with these sessions. And then you're the first two here.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Wonderful, thank you. I'm very excited about this.
Good. Excited to have you.
Michael,
Thank
were
you.
you at the first session in this series?
I was not,
That's
but
okay. We
I'm
have a
glad to be
recording.
here.
We have a
Oh,
recording for
cool.
you. Alex, I think you were here. Hi, Loriana. Loriana? Is that how you say it? Loriana?
It is Loriana. Thank you.
Loriana. Welcome. I am going to turn off this waiting room so people can come and go as they need to. And then we'll get started. Just so everybody's on the same page, this is live streaming on YouTube. So if you do not want to be on the World Wide Web, go ahead and turn your screen off. We have a whole like whopping 8 subscribers, so 12 subscribers actually. So you might find your big break. I'm going to turn this off and then I'm going to hand it to Christy in just a second. But I am so excited that you guys have returned for session 2 of the series. This is a series that we created because building a brand and a platform is one of the biggest pain points that I find writers to have. And I find that a lot of writers come into this a bit late. They write a whole book and then they wonder why agents don't want to take them seriously, or nobody's giving them the time of day, or they self-publish and they have no one to market to. So this is something that at the Hive Collective, we do start pushing on our writers very, very early in the process. And that way we can do it gently and slowly and authentically, and you can build a brand in the way that you need to. So Christie Schrader is our director of brand, and she oversees all the brand elements at Blackbear. So she helps us with the Blackbear brand, but she also helps our authors with building their own platform. So even though some of our Hive Collective members work more directly with other consultants, Christy is kind of overseeing all of those consultants that we have. So that being said, she is coming back to us for session 2. And today, Christy, what are we focusing on?
How to build a social media strategy that doesn't suck.
Okay, perfect.
Doesn't suck you dry. Something you can stick
Perfect.
to.
And so that's what we'll be focusing on today. I know that some people submitted questions early. Christy, I meant to ask you, did you have those pulled up on your
I don't think I received any questions.
I'm going to forward them to your email right now, and then we'll make sure that we talk about them at the end.
Beautiful.
You'll probably naturally go through them.
Okay.
But that being said, I'm going to give Christy her hour. And then if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. You can send them to me. You can just stay at the end. We'll probably have a few minutes to talk through them. This is a it's not a webinar. You're welcome to turn your mic on and speak up. You're welcome to raise your hand, whatever you need to do. That's why we keep these swarm sessions a bit smaller and we only let in a certain amount of people so that everybody has space to be heard, and we don't have that like power structure of a webinar and you just being talked to for an hour and expected to retain a bunch of information. So also all of these resources will be emailed out after this session. So if most of you are probably subscribed to the Barely Written, basically my Substack. If you are not, I'll drop that in the chat as well. And I'll also drop Christie's Substack in the chat because she shares a lot of information as well. So that's probably all the things that I needed to tell you. If you guys have any questions, you can drop it in the chat for me. But otherwise, I'm going to hand this hour over to Christy. And yeah, Christy, take it away.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, welcome everyone. I am so glad you're here. Very quick disclaimer. I will be snacking. I am pregnant. If I'm not eating, I'm vomiting. So if anyone has a snack, it is lunchtime. Feel free to eat. Anyhow, thank you, Loriana. So whether this is your first session, I know we have a couple people this is their first session. We do have the first session recorded, and we can send that out to you guys. Well, we will briefly go over everything that happened in that first session. Anyway, thank you for spending part of your day with me, and thank you for everyone who originally wanted to do it last week and was able to accommodate the need to change schedules and do it this week. Today, we're going to talk about something that causes a lot of stress for authors, more than almost anything else, and that is social media. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard writers and really clients, any of my clients from all across industry say, I don't know what to post. I feel like I'm behind. Everyone else seems like they have it figured out and they have this awesome schedule, and I don't have enough time to do this. If you are feeling that way, you are definitely not alone. This is a very common struggle for anyone. Any major creator out there has had this struggle. In fact, this is exactly why I wanted to dedicate an entire workshop to strategy. My hope today isn't to convince you to spend more time on social media. It's actually to do the complete opposite, because a lot of us don't want to be on social media full time. I want to show you how to have a strategy that gives you freedom. It removes the daily pressure of wondering what to post, helps prevent burnout, and allows you to spend more time doing what you actually love, which is writing. One thing I want everyone to remember as we go through this is there is no perfect social media strategy, and no one social media strategy looks the same. There isn't one posting schedule, there isn't one platform to focus on, or one formula for everyone. So by the end of today's session, my goal is for each of you to leave with a framework to build a strategy that fits your life, your goals, and your readers, not someone else's. So let's quickly jump in to where we left off last month. Oh my goodness, where's my mouse? Okay. So if you joined us last month, you'll remember we focused on branding. We talked about who you are as an author, not just what you write. We identified what you want readers to know about you and what makes you feel different. Branding is your foundation. It's your personality, your values, your voice. Today, we're building on that foundation by answering the next question. How do you consistently show up online without burning yourself out? All right. People often jump straight into asking, how often should I start posting? But we don't want to start there. Before we figure it out what you're posting about, you need to understand your why and your how. Your brand is your why, your strategy is the how. Your strategy creates consistency for both you and your audience. And consistency is a word that we are going to hear a lot today. Instead of waking up every morning wondering, what do I post? What should I say? What should my caption be? My plan is for you to already have a roadmap so those questions are answered the second you wake up. The goal is to remove decision fatigue, which is what causes a lot of people to stop posting on social media altogether. My God, I need to slow down talking. Hold on. Okay. So this is something that I found out when it comes to burnout. I don't think most people quit because they aren't creative enough. They quit because they are measuring themselves against creators who have completely different lives, different goals, who are in different niches, and who are likely have been doing this a lot longer. Maybe the creator is full-time. Maybe they have a team, which a lot of them do. A lot of these big creators you see who are doing these massive posts that are going viral, they have a big team behind them. But luckily, we are in a world now where smaller creators and medium-sized creators are getting a lot of the spotlight. Another thing about being pregnant is you get out of breath really fast. So sorry if I'm snacking and breathing a lot. So we only see the finished project a lot of the time with these big creators, not all the resources behind it. So when you are scrolling on social media and you see a big creator who's doing really cool things, understand that a lot of time goes into making this content. So you can't compare what you are posting and what you're creating to these massive creators. You need to start finding people, niche down a little bit, find people in your niche and your size, and start mimicking them a little bit more. So the fastest way to hate social media is trying to keep up with someone else's pace. So today we're going to build something sustainable for you. All right. If you guys don't follow Jesha on TikTok, you should. She's really fun. She cooks sourdough things, but she's relevant to this. So one of the biggest myths online is the success only comes from posting every single day. And I need you guys to get that so far out of your brain. You do not need to post every single day. It is not true that that's the only strategy. Consistency always beats intensity and quantity. Now, I love using Jesha as an example of this because she posts incredibly infrequently compared to other creators, but every post is recognizable. On average, she posts 2 times a month. But every single video follows the exact same format. If you watch her videos, you'll notice the same thumbnails, except for this one right down here. This is an ad. But all of her videos follow the same format, and they get tens of millions of views every single time. And she has been following this strategy for years. She picked a cadence that worked for her, and she stuck with it. And over time, that consistency paid off. So whatever your cadence is, it might be twice a month. If that's the case, it's high quality videos and you stick with it and you let that strategy work for you. It might take a little bit longer, but the payoff is incredible. Her audience knows what to expect when she shows up on their For You page. Your audience values reliability far more than frequency. So I love using her as an example for people who think that you need to be posting several times a day. You don't. You need to find a cadence that works for you, but you have to stick with it. So anyway, if you're not following her, follow her. Her videos are really fun. All right, build around your real life. Before you build a strategy, first you have to be honest with yourself. Be honest with how much time you have. Ask yourself, how much time do you actually have? Not your dream schedule, but your real schedule. Do you have kids? Are you working full time? Are you working full time from home with kids? Maybe you're writing in the evenings. Maybe you work 12-hour days. Whatever your schedule is, it's okay because your strategy will support your writing, not compete with it. As creating content becomes easier, you'll naturally increase your cadence if you want to, but do not start there. It is far better to start posting once or twice a week and slowly increase momentum up to 5 times a week if that's your ultimate goal. That is what happens to so many creators, though, is that you'll start posting 5 times a week because you get really, really excited and you have all these great ideas and you start feeling like you might come out of this meeting like on fire, ready to start posting. However, if you start posting 5 times a week and you don't have a strategy in place and you don't build up to that, that is when burnout happens. And that is what the algorithm notices, is when creators start posting a bunch and then fall off, and then might come back several months later posting a bunch and then fall off. The algorithm much prefers you posting slowly and slowly increasing, okay? So always start smaller than you think you need to. However, I do want to release some stress in the sense that it's okay to take a break when needed. I posted every single day, usually twice a day on TikTok for about 6 months straight at the beginning of 2026. And I started to feel burnout. So I took a complete month off from TikTok, kind of testing myself and the algorithm, but really I just needed a mental break. When I came back that month later, I actually posted my first post, Lessons I Learned from My Month Off. And that post did extremely well. So the algorithm doesn't punish you for taking a break every now and then. It punishes you being consistently inconsistent. So if you need to take a few weeks off and you've been extremely consistent for a long period of time, it's okay to do that. Like social media, we are on a big floating rock in the middle of the galaxy. And this is social media, guys. Your mental health is more important than anything. So if you need a break, take the break. The key here is not to make the breaks long and frequent. Do what you need to do for a short period of time, then get back on the horse. And if 6 months later you need another short break, take a short break. Okay, because I promise you, the algorithm did not punish me. All right, moving on. All right, we're gonna go through a few steps on how to build a social media strategy. Now, at the end of this is gonna be mentioned on a lot of these slides. I mentioned a lot about tracking your content, tracking other people's content, building content pillars, which we'll get into. I believe tomorrow, and Brooke, correct me if I'm wrong, tomorrow we'll send out a newsletter that will have all of my templates in with the newsletter. So you can download the templates and customize it for yourself. You're obviously more than welcome to take notes while we're doing this. I do have one exercise that'll be a little bit lengthy, but you'll have all this information to start building your own strategy. So don't feel like you have to memorize everything you're about to see. Alrighty, step 1, choosing your platform. One mistake I see all the time is people trying to be everywhere at once. Every platform has its own language, audience, and expectations, and it's very important to remember that. Ask yourself not only where your readers actually spend time, but where do you enjoy to spend your time? You enjoy watching and making videos, then TikTok is for you, which is currently where I'm at in my life. You're better at snapping photos. Instagram is your platform. You have lots of thoughts and refer to be dealing mainly with words and you don't want your face everywhere. Substack is for you. If you're someone promoting a service or a business, get yourself on LinkedIn. It's much better to become known on one or two platforms than mediocre on five of them. Once you get comfortable posting on those platforms, you can repurpose your content elsewhere. But you really have to discover where you enjoy being and where you enjoy consuming content. And that's your place where you will start creating the best. It's also where you'll find a ton of inspiration. All right, design your posting schedule. This is just an example, but yours can be whatever you want it to be. There isn't a magic posting schedule. You can do a lot of research if you want to, and this is odd, I guess, coming from a marketer who specializes in this, but there are posting times specific to platforms. For example, if you're posting on LinkedIn, usually lunchtime is the best time to post because people are on their lunch breaks. If you're posting on TikTok, TikTok's an interesting one. Early in the mornings, people want very quick, scrollable content, okay? Because they're getting ready for the morning. Usually their alarm's going off. They're hitting snooze. They want to doom scroll for a minute. And they want to consume quick content. That's usually between the hours of like 6 and 8 a.m. And then around lunchtime, they want informational content because they're up and moving about their day. And they're ready to consume more information. In the evenings, they want more long form emotional content. Now, that's great information to know. However, that does change often. So you kind of have to take these guidelines that the algorithms are throwing out kind of with a grain of salt because they do change. So I always believe there's no magic posting schedule. The only magic is the one that works for you. There's only one schedule you can consistently keep up with, and that's yours. Think of it as making a promise to your audience and to yourself. So if you decide to post, I'm going to start with 2 days a week. I'm going to post on Mondays and Thursdays, 3 reels every week, 1 newsletter every Sunday, and daily stories or daily notes. Be honest with yourself if that's something you're capable of doing, and then stick with it. Oh my God, I need more water. It's wild. Sitting down makes me out of breath. Michael, does Facebook still have any value as a place to promote myself and my work? It really is my favorite place to be. Absolutely. Facebook is extremely beneficial. It's a lot of Gen Zs, Gen X, and Boomer generations that are on Facebook. But what they're finding out is Facebook is an extremely loyal framework because people have been on Facebook for a very, very, very long time. So the people on Facebook, if they are choosing to interact with you, they're like loyal customers. So Facebook is a great place to be. If you're not consistently already posting on Facebook, this is where a lot of repurposing, and we'll get into that later. Repurposing your overflow content can always flow into Facebook, but Facebook has a very loyal reader base. People delete their Instagram and their TikTok and their Substack way more often than they delete their Facebook accounts, is what people are finding. Brooke, are you asking me something? Are your readers on FB? Do you?
No, I was just giving Michael like things to
Perfect.
think about.
Yep.
Like those are things I ask myself with different social media platforms. Like, are my readers on here?
Mhm.
My target audience? And also, are there authors with similar that write in similar genres, or
Yep.
are they on there? Because like Geneva Rose and Abby Jimenez have huge Facebook communities. I actually think, oh, what was that? There was a scandal, but Jen Hatmaker had a huge Facebook community as well.
Yep.
It wasn't her scandal. Something happened in the Facebook group, but those groups create belonging, and people really love to feel belonging. And like they have inside jokes with people that read the same things as them. So
Right.
those work really well. Also, sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt too much, but John Mars is an author that's he's not super popular, but he created a lot of publicity for himself by being very active in other Facebook groups. So he's in a bunch of Facebook groups for, I don't remember what genre he writes, but say he's a crime thriller author. He joins those groups and he participates and he talks. he doesn't promote himself the whole time, but his handle says John Mars author, and then he'll just kind of slide in, like he doesn't go in super salesy, but he slides in there because he's created this, he's a trusted person in this group
Right.
that is very active. And people now, I feel like people tag him all the time whenever they're
Yeah.
talking about what other people are looking for. So anyway, just being active around the readers, that the people that are your readers, it doesn't matter where they are. You just have to
Yeah,
figure out where
absolutely.
they
And
are.
that's a really good point. Actually, Facebook is one of the better platforms when it does come to community. Substack is kind of getting on the same level, but you won't find on Instagram or TikTok the community groups where people are interacting with one another like you are on Facebook. So that's a very good point. Thank you for your question, Michael. That was great. Anywho, I don't know where I left off with this, but whatever your schedule is, point is, be honest with how much time you have. Start small, and whatever your schedule that you choose, stick with it and be consistent with it, because this is where it's pivotal that you don't fall off, is when you start small. Okay. Even if it's posting one time a week, totally fine. All right. Pillars. Okay. Content pillars is really just a fancy marketing term that means your themes. And they are probably my favorite part of strategy because they remove the biggest source of stress. So instead of wondering what to post, you simply ask, which pillar does today's idea belong in? Think of your pillars as categories your audience comes to expect from you. They're home bases, not boxes. Your pillars should reflect your brand, your interests, and your readers' interests. Here are 5 pillars that the majority of authors tend to lean towards. You can build on your own pillars from here, or you can create your own. It's a writing journey, books you're reading, personal life, behind the scenes, book promotion. I feel like a lot of authors in the beginning stages, they've pushed book promotion more than anything, and that's a mistake. You want people to get an inside look on your life, not just your book. So these 5 pillars are where a lot of authors really start. So if you're not sure where to start, you can start here. However, we also want you to build your own. So this next slide, we are going to be on for a minute. All right. So if you can, grab yourself a pen and paper, or you can just watch. But I would love for you to throw in the chat any ideas that come to you. But we're going to go through each one of these questions because this is going to be your framework for how you build your content. And this is called the circle method. So in your 5 circles, you have your expertise, your work, your values, your story, and your interests. So in circle 1 is your expertise, which basically means what can you teach? Some examples are writing process. Brooke might teach about editing and publishing. I might teach about marketing. You might be really, really great at character and world development or productivity. So you want to ask yourself, what do people already ask you for advice for? So we're going to be on this for, I don't know, let's give it 2 minutes. So you're welcome to put it in the chat or write it down on your own piece of paper or just mull it over in your mind, but really ask yourself, what do people come to you and ask for advice for? Because that is your expertise. 2 minutes. You can do it.
I'm overwhelmed. 2 minutes
Why?
doesn't feel long enough. Okay, I'm gonna go now.
You need, oh shoot, I didn't even press start. There you go. Do you need, if you guys need longer, do longer.
No, it's okay.
I'll start putting some random ones in the chat. I found that a lot of people come to me on how to relieve anxiety, which is wild because I'm riddled with it. Oh God. I don't like that tick down. Ooh, solo travel. Love that. All right. We are going to move on to number 2.
Wait, are we supposed to, are they supposed to overlap in the middle?
Mm-hmm. Just
Okay.
you wait.
I need, okay.
They don't, I mean,
I
right
need
now, if you just want to make a list, just make a list.
That's
And
what I did for
you
now.
can draw circles later. All right. So circle number 2, your story, which means what have you lived? Examples:
Oh,
parenthood, teaching, corporate careers, going from career to motherhood, foster care, homeschooling, grief, entrepreneurship, uh, writing a book for the first time. Ask yourself what experiences shaped who you are. And these stories become like connection content. This is how you really connect with your audience. I'm going to give you guys another 2 minutes to make another list. Where we're at here, what have you lived? All right. Thank you to everyone writing in this. This is awesome. I also see a lot of people going through similar things. There's a lot of people to connect to. Okay. Circle 3, one right down here, your interests. So, what would you happily talk about even if nobody paid you to do so? Some examples: hiking, movies, your love for fantasy books, if you love history, if you recently got into gardening, interior design, fitness. These are the things that make you relatable. So, we're going to take another 2 minutes and write a list of your current interests. All right, everyone, 2 circles left. Next is your values, which kind of intersects with your interests. Where are we at? So basically, what do you believe? So some examples that I've made a list of is creativity over perfection, slow living, staying curious, family first, being in a stage of constantly learning, inclusivity, and sustainability. And basically, values become your opinion pieces. Oh, Brooke, do it. You're not going to get canceled on a Zoom. All right. You guys have got some really good answers in here. All right. Last one. Your work, which basically means what are you actively creating? For example, are you drafting your book? Are you drafting book 2? Are you in the editing stage? Are you working on your cover? Are you starting a podcast, a newsletter, research, book launch? So this is basically your behind the scenes content. Here we go. Okay, beautiful. So again, you guys will get a worksheet tomorrow. I think, yeah, tomorrow. With all of this and a little bit more detail on how you can build this into your content pillars. But basically what's going to happen is you look for overlap within your points and within each circle. So for example, for my story, I choose motherhood. For my expertise, it's writing a fantasy dystopian book. Is what I'm working on currently. Your interest, coffee. You can take three things that are seemingly not involved with each other and create content like, I wrote today's chapter during nap time, or what motherhood taught me about writing believable characters. So basically, now that the content feels unique because no one else has your combination. So you can take those 5 pillars that we looked at in the previous slide and use your interests and who you are to create very, very unique content. So take a minute to know where your circles overlap or where you can combine a few different points in each circle. And then you create content based on that. But again, you guys are going to get a worksheet of this. So this was just an exercise to get your brain thinking. If you've never thought about things like this will really, really help you with creating your social media strategy. All right. Moving on. Good job, guys. How do I get rid of this? Minimize. Perfect. Okay. Now I need water. So building a content tracker. You don't need anything fancy or expensive to do this, but you do need to track your content, especially if you're someone who forgets to post or gets overwhelmed thinking about what to post. I use Google Sheets. They are my second brain. You will glimpse into that later. I will have another template of a content tracker for you, so you don't have to worry about building your own. So you don't want to rely on Instagram drafts or, are you laughing at me? Are you laughing at me? Is it because I'm out of breath again? Okay. Shut up. I just see your face. I don't see anyone else's face. I just see your face. Okay. Anyhow, I know we love to hit save on Instagram posts and on TikTok posts, and we think we're going to go back to it later and look at it. Chances are we don't usually. Same with notes in your phone. I can't tell you how many notes that I have that I randomly scroll and I find posts from like years ago thinking like, oh, I meant to post this, but I forgot about it. You want to keep all of your ideas in one place. So you want to track what's posted, what's being scheduled, and what can be reused and repurposed. After a few months, you'll have an entire library instead of starting from scratch every single day. We're going to go over other information you should track before building your content. I know this sounds a lot like homework, but it does not take a long time, and I'll share the exact template that I use. All right. Before creating content, spend time consuming it intentionally. Pick creators you genuinely enjoy watching, and they do not even have to be authors. Study what keeps your attention. Use the research sheet we will provide to notice patterns. You're training your brain basically to recognize effective storytelling. So here's what you need to keep an eye on. These are some things to pay attention to. So great creators study other creators, like artists study other artists, but they're not studying techniques. We are studying techniques, but we are not copying ideas. Ask yourself why something made you stop scrolling. Was it the hook? Was it the pacing? Was it the emotion? Was it the editing? Are you someone who prefers a simple background with a professional aesthetic? Or are you someone who wants a colorful background and more of a casual humanistic approach? Maybe you're someone who finds yourself really engaged by people who are tending to their garden or they're cooking in their kitchen as they talk about something they're really passionate about. Find out what grabs your attention and create that aesthetic with your spin. Pro tip, I know we don't like to spend money, but get yourself a tripod. It really, really does help. You can just set it up somewhere in your home. It's worth it. You don't have to touch your camera. You can get this entire background without trying to figure out what to do. And you can find a single background that you like, and you know that's where it is. So you can find them on Amazon for like 10 bucks or go to like Five Below. If you need anything, it's usually at Five Below. All right. So some of my favorite inspiration comes from creators outside my own industry. So a cooking creator understands storytelling, a fitness coach understands motivation, a teacher understands education. Your job is not to become them, it's to ask yourself, how can I tell my story using their format? For example, let's say that you love reading, but you also really love cooking, and you're also writing your book. You find meals from books you love, cook them in your kitchen while talking about your book. Make pumpkin pasties from Harry Potter. Capital-inspired extravagant desserts from the Hunger Games. You can take your take on the second breakfast from Lord of the Rings. That gray stuff from Beauty and the Beast, if you know what I'm talking about. Basically, this captures readers, bakers, chefs, and anyone who just loves unique content. So you consume everything and you find a way to combine what you love with the book that you are writing. This makes content creation exciting for you as well, which is really the most important part of any strategy. You have to love what you are posting. All right, so this is the 80-20 rule. You'll probably see this a lot. This is one of the most common social media strategies, and it is one of my favorite shortcuts, but you don't want to overuse it. Basically, you find a format that consistently performs well, or you find a viral video, and you take 80% of it and change 20% of it. Keep the structure, change the message, but we want to make sure we're not copying or imitating. So you use trends as creative prompts rather than scripts. You don't rely on this for every single post. This is very important. Not every single post needs to be the 80-20 rule. Your original ideas are still what makes your brand memorable, but every now and then the strategy can be used when it's applicable. Okay, where are we at? Trends. Okay, so I hear people say all the time they refuse to do trends. If that's you, that's okay. But remember that trends are how new audiences discover new creators. Not every trend deserves your attention. Ask yourself what naturally fits your brand. If it feels forced, skip it. But if it feels fun, try it out. So here are some current trends to try. Again, I'm going to give you a full list with like ideas that you can use these trends if you're a reader or writer kind of in this niche area. But rankings and hot takes always perform well because people immediately want to agree or disagree. People want to throw their opinion on things. So for example, there's the top 5 horror stories. I just posted one today about being a blue collar wife. Top 5 horror stories of novels that actually scared me. Ranking every Harry Potter villain, fantasy worlds I'd actually survive in, most satisfying plot twists ever written. You know, I'm just going to throw this in the chat. I have a list. Oh, Brooke, good point. Okay. The hear me out, where you have like a little like hear me out and then you list someone who's attractive, who's actually like not attractive, but you can do instead of doing celebrities, hear me out, this fictional villain. Tier list, people love listing tiers, fantasy creatures, romance tropes, magic systems, book endings, villains, side characters. I'm going to send out, I have a massive list. I'm going to send out all of them to you guys so you guys can pick and choose whichever ones you want to use. But this is a great way to get engagement from people and get your opinion out there and have really, really fun conversations. You guys are going to get so much stuff. I'm so sorry. Okay. How much time do we have? 15 minutes. Oh God. Okay. Algorithm. Whew. So every year there's a new secret when it comes to the algorithm. Hashtags matter, then they don't, then SEO matters, and then captions, then trending audio. If you chase every single change, you're going to spend so much more time studying the algorithm than creating the content. So do not let the rules stop you from showing up. They are so not as important as people make them out to be. You will find so many, I don't know, grinds my gears. You will find so many marketing professionals, especially on TikTok, now on Substack, basically saying like, here are the new rules of the algorithm this month, and you have to abide by these rules. They're lying. It's not real. They want engagement. They want to be seen as like these really professional experts. I'm not saying they're not. I'm sure they're really great at their job. I'm not saying that at all. But the algorithm is not the end all be all. People, you do not become a slave to your algorithm. The algorithm changes, but people do not. People still connect with stories at the end of the day. They want to laugh, they want to learn, they want to feel good, they want to feel like they are understood. So focus on the things that never go out of style. And at the end of the day, consistency is more important than any algorithm trend. God, I hate algorithm rules. I could talk about that all day. Okay. So most of forgotten growth strategy, engage, engage, engage. If you only have 15 extra minutes a day, spend them engaging. Leave thoughtful comments, reply to stories, ask other creators questions, celebrate other creators. That's a big one. If you see a creator doing really well or a creator post on Substack that they just got their book manuscript finished, but you've been working on yours for years, and that ping inside of you makes you feel like, oh God, I can't believe I'm not done yet. Celebrate them. It makes you feel better. It makes you feel encouraged because they will come and celebrate you right back. Community grows so much faster than broadcasting what you're doing. Celebrate other people as well. God, now I need to talk fast, don't I? Oh my God. Golden rule of social media. The energy you put into social media usually comes back to you. If you disappear after posting, your audience will notice. When you genuinely participate, you become part of a community, and the algorithm notices that as well. I know I was just talking about how the algorithm is bullshit, but it does work for you if you allow it to. If you want to recommend, if it wants to recommend people who make the platform better for everyone else. And a big thing is how you show up on social media is how the algorithm pushes you to those exact same people. So if you are someone who comments a lot on social media, it'll push you to other people who comment a lot as well. If you're someone who just posts every now and then but doesn't engage, it will only push your content to those same people. So make sure you let the algorithm work for you. All right. We kind of already talked about this, but this isn't the right routine. It's just a routine. Try separating planning, creating, posting, and engaging because it helps everyone stay focused. Your schedule will probably look completely different to this. This is just an example, but the goal is to create a rhythm you don't have to rethink every single week. We talked about this, but I'm giving you a real life example of repurposing everything. This might be one of the biggest mindset shifts I can give you today. Stop thinking one idea equals only one post. One piece of content can become weeks of content. You're not creating more, you're creating smarter. So you can create 1 minute of B-roll of you in your kitchen making a coffee, or 1 minute B-roll of you outside doing yoga or gardening or whatever it is. And 5 15-second reels can come from that. 10 notes on Substack can come from that. You become part of your newsletter, a quote graphic, a blog. So one idea can become many, many, many formats. We're almost done, I promise. Okay, so your action plan. Try not to focus on doing everything today. Focus on building your foundation. Once you know your platforms, your schedule, your pillars, the rest becomes so much easier. So today, consume content. Take notes of creators you enjoy. Comment, engage with at least 10 posts. What to do this week once you get this follow-up newsletter with all the information. Choose your main 2 platforms. Choose your schedule. Choose your pillars. Start your trackers. Research your creators. And then next week, start planning your posts. And above everything, engage. Try 15 minutes a day where you sit and you just engage with other people. Okay, so these are the templates you'll be getting: a social strategy workbook, content pillar worksheet, a creator research sheet. Oh my God, this is a lot. Good job. Okay, monthly content calendar, engagement tracker, trend ideas. I'm saying good job to me, honestly, because I'm glad I'm giving you all of this.
I
So these
really
are
like that.
so these are the 6 things you will get. And obviously, once you guys get these, you have our emails. If you have any questions or you're not sure how to use them, I'm an email away. You can also find me on social media and you can message me. So remember, it's a little reminder for everybody. I want to leave you with a couple final thoughts. This one and one more slide. Social media can make us believe that the goal is millions of views, but it's not. Our readers don't become loyal because one video went viral. They become loyal because of consistency. Familiarity builds trust. Trust builds relationships. Relationships build readers, and those readers is what build your careers. So don't chase viral, chase being recognizable, and chase being someone who can be relied upon. And I added this slide like 10 minutes before we logged on because I saw this creator right here post about this. And I thought this rocked my world. If you're afraid to fail or post, or afraid of a post that's not landing well, remember these stats. Frank Sinatra wrote 1,200 songs and had 209 hits. That's a 17% succession rate. Babe Ruth had 8,399 attempts at a home run and had actual home run of 714. That's an 8.5% success rate. Pablo Picasso had 150,000 pieces that he created and only 1,170 successful works. That's 0.7% success rate. These numbers are insane and would drive anyone tracking KPIs in the marketing world absolutely crazy because these numbers say that you're failing. But success does not come without failure. You will actually fail more than you succeed. So the trick is to never ever stop. When you're tempted to, check your ego. That's what it's telling you to stop trying because you're not good enough. Okay? The world of creation has no place for ego. So remember that when you are posting something that doesn't do well. And remember, especially when you post something that does, because you'll have a hit one day and a flop the next day. That does not mean you missed your moment or you're running out of time. It means your next success is coming, but you have to fail several times to get there again. So these stats like really rocked my world and put a lot in perspective. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And that's all I've got for today. Sorry, I talked fast and slow and then fast and slow and ate a lot. But that's all from me. Brooke, you're up.
So there were three comments that were, or three questions that were submitted before we even started the session today.
Right.
So I wanted to hit you with those three. Two of the people aren't even here, but in case they access the recording, then were other people at the same question.
Okay.
And then if anybody else has any questions in this next 9 minutes, they can drop them in the chat, or as soon as I go through these three, you can come off mute and share. So the first one is, do you suggest a website for new authors with only one book published?
Yes. Yes. You can go on Wix, do a free site if you want. You can even do a Canvas site if you don't want to pay for it. But I think it's very beneficial to have something up there because you will build off of that.
The next question was submitted by someone named Brooke, not me. But she said, what is the best way to get your already published book that's available for order on shelves? When should one schedule a book signing?
That's already available for order. So they an independent
It
publisher?
must be. Yeah, it must be.
Publisher. Well, Brooke, I think you've told me this before, but most bookstores won't put their books on shelves unless they're traditionally published, correct?
Or if they're registered through Ingram Spark, yeah.
Okay. So getting them on shelves, that might be a publisher question, but getting your book out there, like one, it's a social media strategy. I would have to look at this person's who's Brooke, they said.
Yeah, I think
I'd have to
can
look at
maybe
what they're
answer this
currently doing, honestly.
I think my advice would be that if your book can be held in your hands and purchased,
Mhm.
you can be in front of people,
Mhm.
whatever that may look like. And so a book signing doesn't have to be at a library or an independent bookstore.
No.
It can. And if you have made the arrangements to be on a shelf somewhere, a coffee shop even, then you can talk to that vendor about
Yep.
being
I
there.
was thinking like I mean, if anyone's, I don't think anyone is in St. Charles, but I was thinking about the wine cafe. Like you can go to locally owned places and be like, hey, I wrote this book. I want to entice people to come and
Anywhere
start posting about it.
if they're doing consignment, if you're able to be on a shelf somewhere, you could have a signing. Also, I'm thinking about a lot of independently published authors do farmers markets.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things that if you have the personality to do it, and that sounds like something that you want to do it. Exposure is exposure, but some people also, it's kind of the most terrifying thing in the world. So you have to just make sure the relationship feels right. Make sure you think that your audience is going to be there. And then also make sure that you're okay with not selling a single book, because a lot of people will come and look at it and they'll be nice.
Right.
But have something that they can take home. Have a business card that doubles as a bookmark. Have
an
a
actual
QR
book.
code that they can get to your website. So if they don't want to buy the book right then, they can go home and at least have a link to your social media and start following you. Have something that they can take away would be my best, but I don't think it's ever too soon as long as your book can be purchased. If it's not, if you're just writing the book or it's not coming out for a few more months, don't waste your time doing that.
If you have an actual product, you got to get it out there. And this is the time of year where fairs are happening as well. So like you said, you can try to become a vendor at one of these fairs or festivals. Yvonne, yes, I do social media audits, website audits for authors. There is one of Brooks and Black Bear's clients that I recently did an audit for this past summer. she was struggling with growing her Substack. I think she said she probably got like 20 new subscribers in like almost a year. And I've been working with her for about 2 months, and she's almost doubled all of her subscribers since then. And I think she's up like 200 and something. And her other platforms are doing really well. So I do that. If you want to shoot me a message on anything, I think I am following you on Substack.
I also think, aren't we doing a raffle if you come to all three of these sessions? Is that for an audit?
Nope, that's for
Because I think, Yvonne, you've been to 2 sessions as well.
Yeah.
But
Also,
certainly
keep showing up. You might win a free one.
last question already submitted was from Michael. What is your most successful post and why?
My most successful I have to go back and look. Oh, I think actually one of them just happened. Let me look.
What about the one that got you a lot of followers on Substack? I think you had a really explosive
I had a really
line of
explosive one on
followers a few months
Substack.
ago.
It was, oh my God, I think it was like in December or January. I basically just wrote like, if you are, there was a trend going around that was like Dear Substack, a Dear Substack trend. So I took part in that, but I kept it really, really short and said, Dear Substack, if you are someone who, if you are a writer who writes as if you have 1,000 followers, but you really only have 3, something like that, follow me, or I want to follow you. And that took off. And I think that took off because it connected with a lot of people who are just now getting on the platform, because in 2025 was one of the biggest growths of Substack. It was very, what's that word? Pregnancy brain. Flatlined.
It was very stagnant.
Stagnant, thank you. It was very stagnant for many, many, many years. And in 2025, a lot of readers and a lot of writers discovered Substack. And a lot of people are trying to figure out the algorithm. If you got on it, you would see everyone posting like, I don't know how to crack Substack's algorithm or whatever it is. So I leaned into that, of people who are like, I'm writing, but I only have 2 followers or 2 subscribers, but I want to be someone who has thousands. I leaned into that, did a really short post. And then from there, I followed, subscribed, liked, and commented on so many people's content. I'm not even kidding you when I say it was probably at least 100 that I just sat and doom scrolled and just commented. And that post blew up. And from that post, I think I got like 3,000 subscribers. So again, it's not your consistency of how much you post. I think it's your engagement that becomes the most important thing.
I
So
think,
go ahead.
Sorry, I keep interrupting. I think one takeaway that also I learned from the client of ours that you just did an audit for that has seen a lot of growth since then. One rule she made for herself is like, before I sit and scroll, I need to engage. She sets a timer for about the minimum she'll ever do is 10 minutes, because she's like, I don't have an excuse. There's nothing, like I can do something for 10 minutes. So she lays in bed and she plays around on Substack for 10 minutes, and she's connected with agents. She's connected with future readers. She has people messaging her for the link of her memoir. Like, she has built authentic connections. And when we looked at the data on her posts, the posts that did the best were the ones that she sat down and wrote off the cuff. She just sat in her bed. They weren't perfect. They weren't
scheduled.
They were not scheduled. I do think that Substack hates scheduling.
They hate queued posts.
All of those that were imperfect, they were very human, they were very her. Those are the ones that took off. The ones that we set up and tried to schedule and make super perfect, and we had really tried to have all the strategy behind it. Those are great, but they weren't hitting the numbers that the ones that she did off the cuff. So, I mean, it's so cliche, but being authentic is really
it really is. And so basically what I told her, and she changed the order of it, which is totally fine, is the biggest rule is create, consume, engage. Every time you go onto social media, create something first, then consume and engaged. But if you're better at engaging first and then creating, then consuming, whatever it is, every time you log in, if you can, those are the 3 things you need to be doing. 1 o'clock. We did it, guys.
This was great. If there were any questions that we didn't get to or that come up after we leave, you guys can simply respond to the Substack emails that you get from me. You have Christie's information. If you want to work with her directly and do some branding work, you absolutely can. I'm not the middleman. You guys do what you need to do, take what you want from this. Stay tuned for a bunch of resources to be coming into your inbox tomorrow. And I hope to see you at the third session. Bring your questions. You guys know how to get a hold of us. So this is great. I love building community. If you know anybody else that would benefit from this, please send them our YouTube channel or send them the registration link for session 3. They can always come late. But that the purpose of this is to reach as many authors as we can. So I really appreciate everyone's time. Christy, I really appreciate your expertise.
Of course.
And with that, I will let you guys all have a very happy rest of your Tuesday.
Have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Here.
Bye, everyone.